Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? It's me, Eddie G, here with a brand new episode of, you guessed it, Eddie G's Comic Culture. Once again, I'm your host, the one and only Eddie G, bringing it to you guys live and in full effect. Thank y'all for stopping by. For all those that don't know, this show is dedicated to all things comic book and pop culture related. So, just to let y'all know, I do reviews for comic books as well as all sorts of entertainment levels as far as movies and music and TV from the past, present, up until the present, of course. And thank y'all for taking the time out and checking me out. Once again, the show is still sponsored by the great folks over at Black Apparel, so make sure you check out the website at www.blackapparelblk.com. They got some brand new gear jumping off over there at their website, so make sure you guys check them out if you guys are looking for something fresh for the upcoming, now that spring is here. And you guys are, maybe doing some shopping around. You hit up the website. They got some cool stuff. Shout outs to Kevin, out in Jersey especially, as well as to my boy Pablo out in Channel 3 Productions, Instagram family, of course, and Nerdy Blurb TV, as well as Pronto Comics, Dennis Knight as well, out in the Bronx. And to all those that I do forget, I do apologize, but thank y'all for joining in. And as promised, I'm here with a brand new episode of my review of I just got out of the movies last night watching I Saw Us, and of course it was directed by Jordan Peele. If you guys don't know, he's from the Key and Peele series on the comedy. Was that, I believe it was on Comedy Central. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I never really followed their material like that until I got online, and but I did hear some rumors about them. But honestly, I saw Get Out, and when I watched Get Out, I thought it was just it was amazing how it was I thought it was a great film as far as the thrillers was concerned, and teetering on, it was a horror film as well, honestly, but the way it was done, the way it was created, and how it was brought on screen was something else. So with that being said, I actually was really looking forward to Us, deep down in the sense, because it was one of my most anticipated movies, considering I knew that Jordan Peele was actually going to bring the heat, especially since I found out that he's actually hosting the reboot for the Twilight Zone coming up, and I believe on April 1st it airs on CBS. So that I'm actually kind of hyped and checking that out, and it does look good. I've seen the trailer, so it does look actually good. So when I went to see Us yesterday, I actually had some pretty, my expectations were pretty decent. I didn't want to, even though I already knew that the reviews all over the place were, through the board amazing. Everybody loved the film, with a few critics here and there, voicing their disapproval. But all across the board, it reigned supreme on Rotten Tomatoes, honestly. And I know a lot of people that don't really go into that, that rely on those sort of critics' websites for their, direction, for their film taste, obviously. And but in this one, I wanted, there was a lot riding on it, considering the fact that I wanted to see if everyone else actually wanted to see if Jordan could actually do it again with a second outing. And to be honest with you, he actually really did. After I watched it last night, I caught the 10 o'clock show, and damn, bro, that movie was something else. As far as what psychological thrillers and horrors is concerned, that movie just really owned everything that I've seen in such a long time, because the way it was presented and a lot of the tones of what it was, it really, it really gets you into the storyline from the beginning to the finish, and it really dwells upon it plays in a dark, it plays in a dark sense of science fiction, as just to let you guys know, it's going to be a few light spoilers on this, but the movie does involve, it revolves around the sense of doppelgangers, evil doppelgangers, chasing after the main protagonist of the film. And in all honesty, to bring that sort of idea, because it's been done before in in other science fiction formats, as far as TV shows and film as well, as far as the evil doppelganger concept, the evil twins of concept is concerned. It's been done before. It hasn't been done in a while, in such a mainstream format the way it was done here, and it really was a well fleshed out project. Like you could see from start to finish that this was definitely a passion project, and from the very beginning to the very end, the suspense really does grip you into it. Um, it's the way it's done. Like I don't want to give too much away about this, because it's actually such a great film. I encourage a lot of people to go out and see it. Um, it has that, it has that approach to the horror aspect. It almost feels like a Stanley Kubrick type of deal. It kind of reminded me of The Shining in its own sense. So it really took me to that level of of um of fear and horror, to say the least. But the way the characters, Lupita Nyong'o, she was actually awesome. Honestly, she was. Everybody brought the heat. Everyone was on their A game um, in that movie, and like I said, the suspense. It really, it's like they're really well timed out, you know, and it's like like I said, that what really hooked me into this movie was the science fiction aspect of it all, and because my most recent memory of, like, what would you say, like the evil twin sort of ordeal was watching was watching Star Trek, the original series, and I forgot the title of that episode actually, where everyone just, like, like the evil doppelgangers, everyone had like a goatee to show, to differentiate from actually, from the original, the regular crew from the Enterprise. So, but for them to capture the way that they captured the story, and the way that he told it throughout this entire film was very like, it was just, I don't know. There's a reason. Like, I believe that if Jordan Peele right about now, to me, Jordan Peele, like I said, I don't want to, like, I'm trying to give you guys a great review without going into so many spoilerific details, but the suspense is what really great, what really gets this movie going. Whether you guys, if you're into psychological thrillers like that, and horror in that aspect as well, because nothing to me, what really, it has its gory moments, but it plays with your mind. It really is a mind fuck throughout the entire movie, because you want to know how this entire, you know, how this concept came to life, how the antagonist came to be, and when it goes there, it really, it really tests, there's a lot of hidden messages. There's a lot of hidden society messages, as far as us, as far as the film's concerned. It generates a lot of that society aspect of, as to what's going on with the problems in the world today. So, but it does so, and it has a subtlety to it that really, like, smooths it out. And with that being said, like, it really, like, played up to the whole, it played up to the aspect of it all. So when you guys check it out, like, when you do finally decide to see it, if you haven't gotten around to see it, it really, like, it really does a psychological job on you. It's like I said, it's a mind fuck. So, it's nothing crazy like Usual Suspects or anything like that, so don't get me wrong, don't misquote me on that. But at the end of the day, like, it was really well done. And with all that being said, like, I think that if Jordan Peele keeps up with his streak like this, I think he's pretty much going to be up there as, like, one of the masters of horror and film. I see him getting up there along with, like, Wes Craven and John Carpenter, and people of that, and that, and that echelon regarding the George Romero. I mean, George Romero, of course. I was about to say Cesar Romero, the Joker, but from the 1966 Batman series, but my bad. No. Um, but yeah, I believe that if he keeps up this streak, that he'll be up there with one of those classic directors. So it's definitely a movie worth checking out. Um, it's just very, the soundtrack in itself is very, very original, very creative. Um, that drew me in. The music in itself, it was very, it's awesome. Like, the film's original score in itself is actually awesome. So that's one of the main things that was, that really drew me in from the beginning, as far as when the opening credits rolled up, and you know, besides the fact that here and there, it really it touches up on some nostalgia as well. It takes it opens up in the during the 80s. Uh, let me just I'll say this: Hands Across America. I don't know if you guys remember that. You probably don't. For all the youngsters, especially the millennials, I barely remember it myself. But Hands Across America was like this thing that was an event that started, I believe, in '86 or whatever, where the entire world, was supposed to hold hands and fight, like in a giant, joining against the fight of poverty and homelessness or something like that. So it definitely plays a part in that movie, but the way it's done is just so sick that like it's boss, man. So like it's one of the opening film, one of the it's I believe it's the first film actually I saw in 2019. So I'm actually glad that it is, and kicking off the new year right, actually, because I haven't seen Captain Marvel as of yet, and to be quite honest, I don't really think I'm actually going to see it because. Not for nothing, I'm not interested in the character like that. I don't know much about her. I haven't read any of her books to begin with. I don't know her like I know Wonder Woman. So with that being said, I'm definitely gonna wait to rent that, like when it's on iTunes. So please don't kill me, but it's just, I already know that Endgame is coming up, and I'm really more anticipated, more than likely to see Shazam. But watching Us was a fantastic film, guys. I urge you guys to see it. It's an awesome follow up. It's not a follow up to Get Out, but if you're looking for something, it's a great horror film to watch, and a great thriller, and with a lot of suspense that's gonna keep you at the edge of your seat. I definitely say, I highly recommend it for you guys. So with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. Show me some love. If you have any questions or comments, hit the comment section up. I'll hit y'all back. You know how I do. I'm about to close this episode out, but I'll be coming back real soon once again. And thank y'all for joining me. I'll see y'all. Have a great one. Peace.